As the music lowers, the footsteps get closer, and you know you're about to get the scare of your life. Is that a fucking turkey? Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about campiness and horror movies. What's that? You're thinking about outdoorsy shit? Stop! We don't do that here. Don't worry, we'll get into what you need to know. But first, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, it's good to see you again. Alright, that's right, quick intros here. So what is camp and horror? Well, it includes absurd, exaggerated, overly stylized, and if done right, as scary as it is funny filmography. Now, I instantly think of Scream, but we'll get to films later. Now, there's a big difference between camp and parodies, as parody is meant to be more obvious that it's joking.
Just chillin'.
And satire is a bit different as well, as it is more of a criticism using humor. Regardless, campy elements can be found in both type of films. But you see the title, you know why we're here today. Sometimes horror movies can just dive full into camp, not really caring about the scary part, even though it is a horror movie through and through. Those types of films can usually be so bad, they're good. Also, there's just like a lot of bad ones too, but positivity here.
Say! Don't think it, don't say it, don't think it! Bye-bye, man.
Regardless, a lot of these type of films garner a cult-like following. Cult as in a good way, not drinking poisonous Kool-Aid. Sometimes horror movies find a perfect balance of humor and genuine scares, while others mock the genre entirely while also playing into it. Now, as to examples, and by examples I mean where you can find campiness and horror. We're gonna get into films in just a second, I swear. The most common place you'll find campiness in horror movies is within the kills.
Carpet Day! Huh? No!
Any good horror movies needs good kills, and campiness can easily be achieved by going over the top with the kills, in a graphic way, using extensive blood, practical or CGI, and sound design.
Have you any idea of what kind of noise happens when somebody is stabbed in the back? And I say, well, because I do.
But good kills don't always have to be shocking CGI and gore and practical effects. Sometimes seeing an obvious dummy is just as good. It makes the film special. A lot of the times the killer or slasher in the horror movies plays a big part into the joke. Joke being a murder in this situation. Which takes us to the slashers themselves. When you think of slashers, you think of Ghostface, Chucky, Jason, and Colton. But what about leprechauns?
What's up, ninjas?
I don't think you can legally say that. You sure about that?
Mutated baskets. Mad scientists. Clowns from outer space. Not the gangbanging one. Well, he didn't do the gangbanging. It was the... Not Pennywise. The other ones. Campiness can be found even within the villain of the movie. In fact, as mentioned earlier, those cult classic films are usually in this vein, like the turkey at the beginning of the video. Or what about a gingerbread man, or even Jack Frost or Santa? Now another huge way campy is illustrated in horror is with meta humor. And we're not talking about Zuckerbot.
I'm excited.
But rather a self-criticizing type of humor, usually seen in satirical movies.
Turn behind you. Behind you.
Which finally leads us to campy film examples. Scream is one of the best horror movies ever made because of its ability to be scary as well as campy, mainly through the use of its meta humor. The first scene of the series plays into stereotypes, the fun ones. I'm talking about in horror movies how there's usually a final girl trope, almost always played by a famous actor. Whoa! Hi Drew Barrymore, you'd be perfect. Oh wait, you're dead 12 minutes into the movie. That's not good. Scream mocks the slasher series while vicariously being a slasher, and it's amazing. Now with a more satirical look into horror, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is a horror comedy that's much more critical of the victims in horror movies. That being dumb teenagers. And dumb teenagers in this movie accidentally mistake our boys, Tucker and Dale, as two hillbilly killers, which progressively through the movie leads to the teenagers getting murdered by themselves. And while the whole film pokes fun at the horror genre, the over-the-top and stylized way that wood chipper scene went, mwah. Alright, birds and turds, to get even deeper in the meta hole, we can look at films like Cabin in the Woods, or Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which merge reality with fiction. Within fiction. Yeah. Wes Craven's New Nightmare literally has the actors who were in the original movies playing themselves while making another Freddy Krueger movie in a movie. So they're making a movie within a movie, and then that movie within the movie. movies. Movies here, movies there, movies everywhere. Go watch that movie. In Cabin of the Woods, and go watch this movie now if you don't want spoilers. It's a good modern horror movie, which is a rare thing to say. Cabin in the Woods seems like a generic horror movie with teens in a cabin in the woods. And they all begin to die because of multiple different ghoulish entities. But the twist is, again, skip if you don't want spoilers. What am I saying? The movie's, how old is this movie? The movie's 13 years old, you're fine, who cares? The twist in Cabin of the Woods, all the monsters are systematically being put out into the world on purpose by some crazed scientists. Now, that's as much spoilers as I will go into. But have you ever wondered how Michael Myers was always on Laurie Strode's ass? Well, it's because of these assholes. Are there any other meta-fiction horror movies you love? Now, let's talk about slashers who are just straight up camp. I'm just going to list a couple and then show you a clip so you'll understand what I'm saying. Leprechaun. Leprechaun is a killing, rhyming leprechaun.
Drink what you want. Drink what you're able. If you're drinking with me, you'll be under the table. Boy, if you're...
The Gingerbread Man is an asshole killer cookie.
Ever try a lady finger?
Jack Frost is a snow and a fan of Harvey Weinstein. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Santa Claus is a fucking wrestler.
My stocking. Is that Santa?
Yes, Virginia.
The horror genre offers so much creativity, and I'm hoping that there's a new weird slasher to eventually come out to the big screens. I think the studio A24 could do something cool, but I've also noticed in the horror genre recently, a lot of these entities that we're supposed to be scared of are just like old, weird shaped humans. I know that's a weird description, but here's a couple of examples, and these are all from different movies.
Gladys,
Shut up, you stupid fucking cunt!
Now that's not to insult any of them. However, I want something, like, cool. Like, give me a fucking... Give me one of those inflatable tubes that shoots out, like, hallucinogenic gas into the air that make everyone else want to kill each other. I think that's just, like, the plot of, like, Batman Begins, but do it with an inflatable tube, man. I guess that leads to a question. Do you like the weird CGI killers, or do you want an obscure slasher? Like a turkey.
You lost my dick?
Practical effects are always a good thing to have in horror movies. Although some studios might have forgotten that. But if the CGI is good enough, then the body horror and kills in a horror movie can reach insane levels of camp. And I eat it up every time. Especially if it's served on an ice cream cone. Some good examples of campy practical effects in the kills of horror movies are with Terrifier, where Art the Clown just pours salt into the wound, metaphorically, literally scalping, cutting eyes, slicing backs, and ripping off arms. You're looking at a bunch of pixels right now, but if you look up what's on screen, you'll find what you're looking for. It's over the top, it's gruesome, and Art's just being Art. It's amazing.
Sir.
It just makes it comically evil. Now, good campy practical effects as well as good campy storytelling, I would recommend the film series Reanimator. These movies follow a crazed scientist trying to prove that he can revive the dead. Now, if you've seen any sort of media ever, that's a bad idea. The movies get extremely graphic, but what makes the Reanimator series special to me is it feels like it's a play, but on a movie.
You haven't done this on people.
I think the reason I love campiness in horror is it allows artists to just go hog wild with whatever project they're doing. And when you let an artist do art, something good's gonna come out. Are there any specific films, slashers, or kills that are extremely campy that I didn't mention? I'd love to hear them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, a like is always appreciated. And if I earned it, why not subscribe? Alright, bye.